What Russia is doing is disgusting. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, commented on the latest airstrike on Kiev. Responding to journalists' questions, he once again confirmed that he intends to impose sanctions against Russia. Although, according to him, he is not sure how much they can actually influence Putin. Earlier, Trump expressed outrage that Putin had not responded in any way to his latest ultimatum regarding the ceasefire. And yesterday, he let something slip. U.S. Special Representative Stephen Witkoff is planning to visit Moscow again. At the same time, Secretary of State Marco Rubio told Fox News in an interview that the administration had contacts with the Russians this week, but they did not yield any results. Moscow, they say, is not showing genuine interest in establishing peace. The deadline that the U.S. president gave the Kremlin will expire on August 8th, that is, next Friday. After that, Trump promised to impose tariffs and other sanctions. Most likely, this refers to additional tariffs for those countries that continue to buy Russian goods. First and foremost, these are China, India, and Brazil. This tool has proven to be effective. This week, the U.S. has already imposed tariffs against India, which continue to purchase Russian oil. And now, as reported by Reuters, Indian state companies have already started suspending shipments from Russia.
Yes, we are planning to impose sanctions. I don't know if the sanctions bother him. They are aware of the sanctions. I know better than anyone about sanctions, tariffs, and everything else. I'm not sure if it will have any effect, but we're going to do it.
31 victims of the Russian attack in Kyiv. In the morning, rescuers recovered 3 more bodies from under the rubble. Among those killed by Russian terrorists are 5 children. All of them died in an apartment building in the Sviatoshynsky district, where an enemy missile strike destroyed an entire entrance of the high-rise. Search and rescue operations were carried out all night and morning. They ended an hour ago. At this location alone, rescuers pulled out 28 bodies. Let me remind you, on the night of July 31st, Russia launched a massive attack on the capital with drones and missiles. The most destruction occurred in the Solomyansky, Sviatoshynsky, Shevchenkivsky, and Holosiivsky districts. Buildings were damaged at 27 locations. Several medical facilities were also affected. One of Kiev's mosques was damaged by the blast wave. In total, there are 160 victims in the capital, 16 of whom are children. In memory of those who died, today has been declared a day of mourning in Kiev and the region. Ukraine has also initiated an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council today due to another escalation of terror by Russia.
At least 13 people were killed by the Russians in Kiev last night. Among them was a 6-year-old boy who died in the ambulance. They couldn't save him. The police are currently checking information about missing persons. After the enemy attack, about 10 reports have been filed. In the evening, the Ministry of Internal Affairs stated that 93 people were injured, including 11 children. Nearly 30 people are in hospitals, among them 5 kids. In the capital, as a result of the enemy's combined drone and missile attack, there was extensive damage to residential infrastructure in the Solomyansky, Sviatoshynsky, Shevchenkivsky, and Holosiivsky districts. Several buildings were left without electricity. The world has once again seen Russia's response to our desire for peace with America and Europe. New demonstrative killings. President Zelensky said. Meanwhile, the rescue operation after the large-scale Russian combined attack is ongoing. Emergency service workers continue to clear the rubble of the apartment building in the Sviatoshynsky district. A Russian missile destroyed an entire entrance of the building there. They're trying to find survivors under tons of construction debris. TSN correspondent Valeria Kovalinska is reporting in more detail from the scene.
Why are you killing people, children, huh? Why are you killing, not letting us live? Oh, God.
Ms. Katerina and her son are keeping watch near the building in the Sviatoshynsky district of Kiev, where a Russian ballistic missile destroyed an entire entrance. They themselves were in their first-floor apartment during the explosion. Their neighbors saved them. Their daughter, son, and 2 grandchildren remain trapped under the rubble.
I didn't feel anything. I just grabbed the handles. Because it was dark, nothing. The apartment was dark. My son, your daughter, the son survived, only me, and the daughter, and the son, and 2 grandchildren. So, it's a pity. Oh God, God, this is a tragedy for me, a tragedy. I wish I had been there instead. I wish I had been there, and the children were alive.
I can say one thing, that, the enemy missile, hit directly somewhere around the 5th floor. You can see to my right, the leaves on the trees are burned. That's exactly,
The trajectory.
the trajectory of this missile's fall, which hit this building. A 6-year-old boy who, unfortunately, was rescued, but they fought for him. For his life, doctors provided medical assistance for more than 2 hours, but sadly, they couldn't save him.
The clearing of the rubble is still ongoing at the site. In total, more than 300 rescuers and 65 units of equipment have been involved in eliminating the consequences in Kiev.
There are also dog handlers working, who help the rescuers find both, possibly living people in the bodies of the deceased. Engineering equipment is working in tandem, and both mechanized and non-mechanized tools are being used. These kinds of debris removal operations are like precision work, almost like jewelry making. The state emergency service units always work practically until the very end to make absolutely sure that, there are no people left under the rubble.
One of the men was found during the announced moment of silence. He had fallen from the 2nd floor to the 1st. There, he was trapped by concrete structures. To reach the victim, rescuers cut a tunnel through the wall of the neighboring apartment.
It was him that the rescuers from the Mobile Rapid Response Rescue Center were saving. This center, I would say, is like the special forces of the State Emergency Service, who specifically deal with and are experts in clearing debris. We immediately handed him over to the medics. You saw, the ambulance was there.
Unfortunately, they are also retrieving the bodies of the deceased. The Kiev Animal Rescue Team found 3 cats in the building. The deputy commander of the Red Cross Rapid Response Team shows them to TSN in the car.
I feel so good. You shouldn't have left. Come on, run over here to me.
This was found by the carriage service. We cooperate with them, and we always call them whenever there are any animals at a site where a strike has occurred. So they bring them to us while they're, for example, taking other animals to the vet or continuing to search for animals. We keep them with us, and together we look for their owners like this, putting up flyers.
And this is already the Solomyansky district of the capital, one of the buildings in the Dreadnought. A missile also hit this building. On one of the buildings here, there's a symbolic drawing, a Neptune missile striking a Russian warship. The Ukrainian flag stood firm. A volunteer construction battalion is helping here to deal with the aftermath of the Russian attack.
Right now, together with the criminal services, we're cutting plywood, helping to board things up, assisting the state emergency service, clearing debris and rubble, talking to people, and recording what kind of help they need. Mostly, it's boarding up windows and clearing out debris from the strikes. This is key. It's rapid response.
This is another location in Solomyansky district that was hit by the Russians. Here, too, houses and cars have been damaged.
My son came home leave front. Got concussion second time.
And the medical facility.
I had just come back when the bell rang. Came home, and then this happened.
In Kiev, August 1st has been declared a day of mourning for those killed in today's attack by the Russian Federation. Valeria Kovalevska, Natalka Nahorna, and Mikhailo Pachetov. TSN 1+1.
The girl was thrown out from the 9th floor. She survived, but with a broken leg. A man ruptured his spleen, but managed to get out of the destroyed apartment on his own. And these are just 2 of the stories of those affected by today's Russian attack. All the wounded are under medical supervision. About a dozen people are in serious condition in intensive care units, including police officers who were also injured in the attack. TSN correspondent Alina Hushchik visited the intensive care unit. Next, watch without commentary.
You could hear the explosions, but I thought it was farther away. Well, as always. When I woke up, I was right by the window. And it turns out, right next to my bed on the right, there was just this huge hole. And there were cars burning and so on.
He got out by himself, but they brought him to us in very serious condition because he had a massive spleen rupture. And he arrived with very low blood pressure, in critical condition, but it's okay.
He just flew out from the 9th floor. His leg was broken and, well, a tooth just fell out. I was conscious. I was just sleepy and didn't understand what was happening. I heard the explosion, and a second later I was on the ground. I don't know how that's even possible, how you could fly, fall 9 floors, and end up with just a broken leg. Most likely, I was actually sitting on the bed and just fell down with it, you know, and that's why I didn't get hurt, because the bed is soft. I don't know what's going on with my dad or my mom. I have no idea at all where they are or what's happened to them.
As a result of last night's attack, 34 victims came to the facility, and the vast majority of them, specifically 28, were hospitalized by ambulance. And 6 of the victims came in on their own, brought by friends, acquaintances, or relatives in private cars. They were brought to our hospital. Out of the patients who were hospitalized, 6 are in serious condition. All of them have undergone surgery. Some of them, in fact, are still undergoing surgical procedures. Overall, the patients are in more serious condition than they were during the previous 2 shellings. That is, there are severe injuries to the abdominal organs, ruptured spleens, injuries to the limbs, chest organs, soft tissue injuries, as usual, to the lower and upper limbs, head, and torso.
Enemy drones and missiles also damaged the main mosque of Muslims in Ukraine. This was reported on social media by the Mufti of the Spiritual Administration of Muslims of Ukraine, Imam Solomyansky, who also published photos. There isn't a single intact window left in the mosque. All the glass was blown out, and in the building of the gymnasium for children from families who practice Islam, which is located 1 floor above, right above the mosque, the blast wave destroyed the shop selling Eastern goods. One of them sold incense. Because of this, the scent of perfume now fills several blocks around the mosque. While the building is being repaired, the traditional prayers 5 times a day are held right out on the street. According to the Mufti, the Muslim community of Ukraine is currently doing everything possible to share information abroad, especially in Islamic countries, about the true face of the Russian world.
Here is the Russian world. See it and appreciate who is supposedly protecting you.
We won't be able to replace all the windows, but it's also very important for all Muslims, all believers, to come and see the consequences of this aggression. And also for our partners who want to show just how cynical Russia is, how much Russia wants to destroy Ukraine.
Keith Kellogg's daughter, the American Special Representative for Ukraine, wrote about the massive attack on the Ukrainian capital. Since the beginning of the full-scale war, Megan Mop's Foundation has been providing humanitarian aid to our country. She often comes here. Kiev is under a massive drone attack, Megan wrote at first. Make no mistake, this is Putin's response to President Trump's ultimatum. He's once again testing American strength and resilience. And in the morning, she added this.
And then there were also Russian missiles. But only after civilians had left the bomb shelters and gone back to their homes. Russia is sending a calculated message to America and the West. We're not afraid of you.